Today we welcome Jamie Arion to the podcast. She has been a fitness coach for over 30 years, and now she's a golf fitness coach in Peachtree City, Georgia. We're going to dive into everything you need to know about keeping your body safe and healthy while playing this great game of golf. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Travel Rolly Podcast. Today we've got Jamie Arion, and she is a good friend of Jeff Bartholomew's, lives in Peachtree City, and is a fitness guru from what I've heard. So we're going to get all in that. Jamie, thanks for coming on, and how's your day going?
Well, first, thank you for inviting me. This is very exciting, and I'm super excited for you and Jeff and what you guys have going on. So thank you for thinking of me. Yeah,
absolutely.
Having a good day.
Good. So I guess we'll start off with a little bit of your background. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Chicago. So
Chicago. I love that.
Yeah. So I grew up on the south side. My husband grew up on the north side, and so that's originally where we're from. But honestly, we've been in Peachtree City for 27 years. So this is kind of home too, right? So.
Yeah, awesome. So let's talk about a little bit about what you do. It's kind of the main reason you're on here. Also because you're a great person, but we'll get into the fitness aspect and how you help golfers, and tell us just a little bit of your background.
Sure. So I'm currently the strength and conditioning coach for golfers at the clubs of Noonan and Peachtree City. And that's where I help our golfers invest in their most important piece of equipment, which is their golf body. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I run golf fitness classes there and different stretching classes that'll come back to life at the beginning of the year, an off-season program that's coming up. I also see clients online. I've been in the business for quite a few years, so I have online clients because Peachtree City is a very transient community. So a lot of times someone will or has been training with me and they go someplace else and they want to continue training with me. So I have systems available to my clients to really train them no matter where they live or travel. So I always call myself the trainer in your pocket. Yeah. And so I do that. And then I also do event speaking. I just came back from an event with it was a women's leadership retreat, and I led 2 classes on the beach with dolphins at Jekyll Island, and then was able to talk to them about nutrition.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's another aspect of, what you do is, do you do like nutritional plans for your clients as well?
Yeah. So my nutrition coaching is really about empowering my client to be able to think what is best for their body. And so, I offer a lot of different things, and we could really go down a rabbit hole with all that. But I offer, DNA testing to help people understand their bodies more, so that way they're able to fuel their body based on how they are made, right? So, and then I empower them with healthy habits and just really going to the foundation of things as far as why these things are so important.
What do you think, for everyone out there, what do you think the number one best healthy habit is as of like nutrition?
Oh, for nutrition? Weekends count.
Don't tell me that. Oh, you just ruined my life. We always say, we're on the weekend. It's still cheat day, Sunday night.
Right. I know.
Do you believe in the one day cheat day? Is that a thing? Or
I'm such a buzzkill. I know. That's what, yeah. Well, you know what? When someone is coming to me and investing in their health and wellness, I'm kind of like I am a buzzkill. I kind of tell them the things that they don't want to hear, but if we want to move forward, we have to change certain behaviors, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what, going back to that question, as far as do I believe in a cheat meal, I always throw it back to my client and say, how fast do you want to get there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that deep down. I just, push it out of my brain a little bit.
Yeah, you'll be editing this part, right?
Yeah, we won't even hear it.
Yeah.
Ever since I will admit, ever since I stopped playing football, um, I've taken a little breather on the everyday nutrition and workout. I will get back into it, but for 20, some years of my life, I was, playing every day, practicing, eating everything that the football coaches give me. And you need a break, but I will be going back. I promise. I just need a little bit of time off.
Okay. It's on the recording. I hear
You
you.
can hold me to it. You can hold me to it.
Well, you know what? You really are, opening up where, it's a lifestyle. And,
Mm-hmm.
when you are an athlete and you are in that kind of environment, that's a business, right? And so everything is very strict and, monitored and everything else. And what I like to say is, my business is called Jamie Arion Healthy Life. And it's about how do we take some of those principles and still have joy in our life, yet how do we have a healthy life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think sometimes someone like yourself who's coming off of such a strict regimen,
Yeah.
and that's what and it's finding that balance, Hayden, where you're like, okay, I can find that balance where, I can eat healthy during the week and,
Yeah.
Maybe have a cheat meal and still keep my goals moving forward.
Yeah. I definitely am looking for that balance because I just, started a new job and have this business. So I'm balancing a lot of things that I have never had to balance before. So trying to fit in workouts and, eating healthy has been actually pretty easy because we're doing this, well, not super healthy, but we're doing HelloFresh. So like we have small meals, a lot of chicken, and a lot of good meals. So it's more of finding time to get in the gym and get my daily workout in has been the main thing for me, I guess I should say. What do
Yeah.
you
And that's,
suggest for people who have 9 to 5s, who work all day, super tired? Do you suggest morning, get it over with, or finding a time during the middle of the day?
yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, it's different for everybody. But I will say the later it happens, the more opportunity other things kind of creep into your day, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't, the excuses or just the obligations start coming in. So, research has it that the most successful people are the ones who get up and get her done, right? But with that being said, if you do have a job where you have some flexibility, things like that, a lunch to grab a lunch hour workout, something like that. I mean, that really can work twofold as far as it gives you a break with your work, and then you're kind of supercharged to go back, and you don't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I had to do that too many times in my life. Working
yeah,
out at 5 a.m. I think I'm done with that for now.
yeah.
I
Well, and that's it. The real answer to that question is the best time is the time that you can make it happen consistently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get into a schedule. I've heard that a lot. Is no matter when you work out, have a time where you're on a schedule and you create a habit. I know habits are big to creating success. So
Well, and I encourage people to put it on their calendar.
mhm.
You become an appointment. You become, even I myself, I have a hidden client that's me, that's me. I
Mhm.
have to schedule my my workout in.
Yeah.
I'm at the club all day. How frustrating is that to be at the club all day? You still haven't had your workout, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So where did you originally start with fitness?
With fitness, actually, I'm a lifelong athlete myself. And so, came from a very small town and played all the different sports because being in a small town, if one of us didn't play, we didn't have a team. so, so, I always joke around and say, somebody was having a moment and they were like, I'm not going out for the basketball team. And we'd be like, what are you talking about? We don't have a basketball team. You don't go out. So I look at that as, there was a lot of cross training with that, right? So I have, I had a lot of different skill sets because of, volleyball, basketball, softball, track, did all of those. So I think it just kind of prepared me for the discipline and the consistency that needs to happen when we talk about your golf game, right? You have to go, you have to practice, you have to, see a coach to see if, you're having some sort of technique troubles, things like that.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of golf, which is, the main part of the business and the podcast, and, we're getting to that. Tell us how you got into the golf fitness world, and has that always been what you've done, or you just recently started with the golf world?
Yeah, great question. So, my background in the fitness industry is over 30 years, right?
You were a teenager, right?
Absolutely. Started when I was 12. Yeah. So, so as far as, the fitness part of it and doing fitness as a business, it's been 30 years. All right. So, and as we know, golf fitness is really kind of a new phenomenon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Tiger evolved, things started kind of creeping up. But here in Peachtree City, Georgia, the clubs actually opened a sports club 4 years ago. And so I was actually at a different facility, and I kind of was hearing that they were opening up something. And one day I went over to check it out, and that's where I know Jeff, from just being in the community and,
Mm-hmm.
his business coaching and all of that. And, I would like to think of myself as an entrepreneur and visionary. And when I went over there and saw what was going on, I was like, oh my gosh, there is a huge opportunity. And, they really need someone with a fitness background. I'm also a movement specialist. I understand how the body moves through certain planes.
Yeah.
And, they needed somebody that really could kind of grab a hold of this for them. So, after talking with management, I immediately went over to the golf pro, which was Chris Knobloch, and asked him what his vision was and where he saw things going. And him and I really clicked, and kind of the rest is history. I understood what I needed to do.
I like what you said about the movement specialist, because a golf swing, you use parts of your body that you don't use in anything else. Rarely are you going to be using, the hips and in a golf form. So being able to understand exactly where to pinpoint fitness for golf is really, really important. Like with baseball and hitters, those coaches know the training is totally different for hitters. And it's kind of similar to golf in that, you're using different parts of your body besides just running straight. Like football, you just got to work your legs, be strong in your upper body, and that's all you need. But it's not all you need. I take that sounds very, very low. I don't want my old strength coaches to hear this and get mad at me, but it's very, very important stuff. It's just very different parts of the body that you have to know about.
It is different. And that's why I think the fitness part for golfers, it's been a slow build, and I think the concept, they kind of get the concept, but it's helping them understand that investing some time in your fitness, not only will it help, your core strength, so that way, you're going to have more power, and you're just going to have more that, the rotation is just going to be, your club head speed is going to be much greater. And to help them understand that, and help them understand that we want to stay injury free. It's a repetitive motion. And so to help them understand that we've got to kind of uncoil the spine the other way to help prevent injury.
You saw what happened with Tiger. That amount of swings it's eventually going to, tear something up in the back, and, your knees are heavy with the twist. In football, with my throwing motion, it's similar to, I'm twisting one way over and over again. I need to be able to do the fitness and the exercises to counteract that, so that I'm not having back spasms. I used to have a lot of back spasms in high school. So when I got to college, I actually started doing exercises that were going to help me prevent injuries. So it's similar in golf. If your back is hurting, I'd suggest figuring out the right exercises for a golfer, so that you're not getting hurt every other day and having knee pain and arthritis and all the things that start piling up if you're not taking care of your body.
Absolutely. Sure. And yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And the whole thing is that, as much as, we always love to get a new driver, and we always love to get new clubs and everything else. But you know what? It doesn't, if your golf body isn't 100%, that new club isn't going to help us, I mean, we really have to take care of this. And we do a lot of what we call unilateral kind of work, meaning we work one side of the body, then we work the other side of the body, because we're wanting to make sure there's not a strength imbalance. And that's what you're alluding to, Hayden, as far as when you got, muscle spasms and things like that. You got one side of the body that is a little bit stronger, and it's going to compensate with injury.
Yeah. So what kind of golf fitness classes have you done in the past, and are you continuing to do?
Right. So I have a regular golf fitness class that Jeff participates in, Yeah.
And he lets me know every day.
Oh my goodness, man. He was something today. So
we would love to hear. Maybe off camera. We'll listen.
Yeah. So where, I combine just functional exercise, core strength, flexibility. We work on rotation, as far as, in my world, we call it disassociation between your upper body and your lower body. So we can really work on this rotation. And, just as far as overall and muscular endurance, I mean, nobody likes to play 18 holes out at, 14, 15, that kind of thing. So work on overall endurance. So we do that with the golf fitness program. And then super excited, with the new year starting, I'll start a 6 weeks off season advantage program, which it's a concentrated 6 weeks. We do a lot of what we do in golf fitness, but they get to see more of me in that. And also they get group classes. They get their own workouts that they'll be doing. I call it open gym, where I'll be there on the weekend, so that I'm there to help them with their form, check their form, also have them ask me questions. We'll do a nutritional workshop with that for pre and post golf nutrition. So, and then we'll also do assessments. We'll do assessments, your swing speed before, and a flexibility assessment before. And then we'll also do one at the end of 6 weeks to prove to them that it works. So we'll start that, and then we'll also do stretching for golfers on the green. So when the weather gets a little bit nicer, we'll do a stretching class, and then we actually do it right there on the trailer so people can see us working out, see us stretching, and they'll be like, what's going on over there?
Yeah,
so
for sure. With so those were all in person, correct? So what do you offer for people that may not be able to get to Peachtree City with your online classes?
Yeah, my golf fitness program, that's right now, it's Mondays at 12:30. That is a live, and it is also streamed in real time. So we had 3 or 4 people keying in today for that class this afternoon. If somebody can't make it, I record it, and I can always send them a recorded class. The one thing about, the one thing about being live is, I've got different monitors, so I'm actually watching them do that, that movement. So,
yeah,
I can help them correct form, things like that. So I do that, and we have several people that have, let's see, Michigan was in the house, Arizona was in the house today. Someone from Peachtree City, North Peachtree City, was in the house. We've had people from Boston, people from Seattle, all over. So
sweet. That is awesome. And in this day and age, obviously you have to adapt to the world, and everything's going online. So it's nice to have that available as well. If somebody wanted to be able to have access to that, do you have a website or?
Yeah, they can actually just contact me, and maybe
we'll put the contact
when you list the podcast, but they can just email me, jamie@jamiearion.com, and I'd be more than happy to just talk with them and what are they trying to, what are their goals, and what are we trying to improve?
Gotcha. Sweet. So with these classes and your new venture in the golf world, what kind of results can you expect from actually starting to care about your golf fitness?
Yeah, great question. And I have to say, every single person that I've had the privilege of coaching has seen some sort of improvement. All right. So whether that is with, club head speed, more distance, their flexibility has gotten a lot better. Maybe they came to me because of back pain or something like that, and they're like, oh my gosh, my back pain is gone. I feel awesome, that sort of thing. A lot of times people tell me they feel more grounded, which what that transfers over for me is their core strength is a lot better. So that way they're able
balance.
to, Exactly. So their balance, their shifting of their weight. So
yeah, I understand
all of those things.
Awesome. So why hasn't that worked with Jeff? Because I'm not seeing any results. Oh, he's gonna hate me for that one. All right, we'll move on. I'm just kidding, Jeff. He's my father-in-law. I have to give him crap. I'll hear about that one later. So, well, tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the LPGA. I know you work with them as well.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So, when I came over to the clubs and started doing golf fitness, we had a golf pro there, Diane, and her and I really hit it off really, really well. She's an athlete. She not only plays golf, but she's an avid, off-road biker and all of that. And so we teamed up and we developed a cutting edge program called Game Shapers. And we were known as the dynamic duo, which we still are. And we created a class where it was half golf instruction and half golf fitness.
Yeah.
And it was really helping our membership to understand the connection between fitness and your golf swing. And it was very unique and very, very awesome. So when the pandemic hit, Diane had this connection with the women's clinics, and they host anywhere from 15 to 18 women's clinics around the United States. And they weren't able to do any of that. So we reached out to them, letting them know that, we had this program, and is this something that they would like to be interested in? Can we help them? That sort of thing. And basically they rebranded us, and we're called Game Shapers for them. And we did a series of videos so that way they could send out to their membership to keep them engaged and help them to keep them working on their golf game even during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then they were just like in June they started, having the clinics again because of the pandemic and everything. But again, things are complicated because we're looking at different cities and all of that kind of stuff. And different restrictions and everything else. So Game Shapers is on the agenda for the spring clinics. So
it's really, really cool to hear both sides coming together, because it's hard to fit in your training and then your golf training as well, and it's nice to have somewhere to go to do it both at the same time. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. And I think the connection started with people, and so because I think there's a lot of us that, we worked out, right? But then your golf game was just different, right? And it's not. It's a sport, and we need to think of it as you train for your sport, right?
Yep.
So
what do you think is the biggest mistake golfers do in their fitness routines?
Not having a fitness program and not warming up.
Yeah, not warming up. I think that being the flexibility would be one of the biggest things. Not being able to warm up and get your back warmed up is going to cause a lot of restriction, and it's never good to have restriction in your body, and you're trying to swing very, very hard, and your back is just kind of just sitting there. I would think that is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster, and I really challenge. I mean, how many times do you see golfers get their bags and they head right over to, they take that big club out and they start wailing on it, and it's one of the worst things that you can do, honestly. There's so many, even a 5-minute warm up to prep the body and to, prep the joints and to get things a little bit more warmed up before you grab that club is
absolutely. Totally.
Really help them a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. What do you think is, this is just coming off the top of my head, the most important body part to focus your fitness on for golf? Is it your knees, legs, hips, back? What do you think would be the main thing that people are probably hurting, and what can you do to fix it?
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah. Yes. I think your warm up, it really, like I mentioned, it can really only, it doesn't have to be a lot. You just have to warm it up, and not to get too technical, but I like to call it, and I know Jeff's heard me say it before, we've got natural WD-40s in all of these joints. And so I always say to people, we got to get our WD-40 going on here, and we got to get that going. And the only way that gets lubed up is if we do a little bit of motion. So, starting with your ankles and just doing some calf raises, doing that, doing some knee circles, doing some hip swings, doing some arm swings with your arms just to get your shoulders ready. And then with your back, it's definitely engaging your core, because most people don't engage their core. And you and I know as athletes, if I were to come at you and kind of was going to sock you in the stomach, you would naturally brace yourself, right? You would naturally tighten up. And most people don't do that. When they get into their golf posture, their golf, when they approach the ball, like everything is kind of like hanging over the belt loop there, and so we got to kind of tighten that up and just kind of start with some gentle rotations before we start adding some power to it. So but low back is definitely for amateur golfers. It's low back, shoulders, and elbows are the most are the joints that actually have the most injury.
Yeah, I see that for sure. Well, this kind of correlates to, injuries. In between golf fitness classes, what kind of fitness should they be doing on their own time? Would it be more just conditioning or more stretching?
I think that one of the things, if you could only do one thing, is to start stretching. And most of us have, they've had jobs, or you're in a job where you're maybe seated and you've got this compression of your spine, and your hip flexors are tight, your hamstrings are tight. And if someone could just spend 8 to 10 minutes stretching on a regular basis, it would totally change their golf game. Totally.
I am getting right on that roller after this and going to work out. I'm ready. You're giving me some motivation. How do people sign up for your online virtual class?
Yeah, they can, like I mentioned, they can really reach out to me at jamie@jamiearion.com, and maybe we can kind of list that under the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
And I do have, limited spots for live, but as far as online, of course, the more the merrier. And if you do come on real time, you really do feel a part of the class. I make you feel like part of the class, and I'll call you out. And
you're gonna yell at them, say, "Get down, come on."
So, but most people, I ask them to reserve their spot for at least that month of Mondays, because again, as you know, it's about consistency. And so when I have people like come in and kind of come out and come in and come out, it's kind of random. And it's kind of like if you practice your golf game kind of randomly, you get random results, So I'm all about accountability and helping people, commit for a month. And then you tell me after, 4 or 5 Mondays, whatever it is in the calendar, that you're not feeling better. Most people right away, they're like, oh my gosh, my flexibility, my balance. Most people, that's one of the things I hear a lot. They're like, oh my gosh, what happened to my balance? I mean, I don't, what happened? And it's one of those things, sneaky things that kind of goes away unless you train it.
Yeah, I understand that completely. I like to say that I'm in shape, and I definitely will say that after football, it's gotten on a decline. And I think my main problem, which I think is a lot of people, is scheduling that time to get it done. I need to get to a strict schedule. I just started a new job about a month ago, or a couple months ago, so I'm getting into new scheduling. So I think that I'm with a lot of people in that I need to find that time where I'm going every single day of the week at least, and consistently. Like you said, schedule it out beforehand.
And you know what? And you too, it's kind of when you get out of the habit, it's kind of the hardest thing is getting started again. And then once you get started, you're like, oh my gosh, why haven't I been doing this? Right. But, whenever someone's going through a life change as far as a, job, kind of a job change, you having a life change too, recently getting married, things like that. I mean, things are a little bit different, but then you're right. You need to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, all right, I need to figure this out. And so, try a couple of different times and, try and stick with that. And, and it's always good, having a buddy there or something like that, so that way you got to go,
Yeah,
so.
it's always nice to have a workout buddy, keep you accountable. So let's talk a little bit about nutrition, and what do you think is a good pre-nutritional meal for a golf day?
Well, again, I think it kind of depends on, what time of day you're golfing, but in the morning, you definitely, I do think having some sort of substantial, breakfast is a good thing, kind of get the wheels going and started. So whether that is something like, like oatmeal, oatmeal with you know, uh, with a hard-boiled egg on the side, or even putting a scoop of protein powder in there, something like that. But having some carbohydrates in order to make it through 18
Yeah.
holes. I mean, that's important. It could even be, someone's like, I don't like oatmeal, things like that. It could be, a nice veggie omelet, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at with your nutrition, it could be, whether it's a whole grain piece of, toast or something like that with that, that could work too. If you're kind of going in the afternoon, that sort of thing, I have a lot of my golfers where they will go, maybe around lunchtime or before lunch or something like that. But they pack a half a sandwich, or, they have a banana, part of a banana, and half a sandwich. So that way they can have it at the turn, things like that. So that way they don't poop out. But it definitely is something that, most of the time, I hate to say this, most of the time things that are on the food truck are not so healthy, right? So we got to kind of think ahead. It could be a handful of nuts. A lot of times that's what I have is, just a handful of nuts, just a few to kind of just stoke the fire, but I definitely is hydration is super important, and definitely depending on where you're at. Here in Georgia, our weather's kind of changing, but we still need to hydrate the body. You don't realize just how much you're sweating and things like that, versus in the summer when you're sweating, right? So
Yeah. And with after the round, what do you suggest to refuel the body after a round of golf?
Yeah, so you can tell his 12-ounce curls do not count. Okay, so so
he'll hear it.
Yeah, no, usually something, something, it depends, what is your goal? If your goal is weight loss, and in watching what you're doing, protein with some, with some vegetables, that kind of thing is a good thing. So, if after the round, if we're wanting, some steak with a vegetable, or you're wanting a, piece of fish with a vegetable, that's great. If we are, we don't, nutrition or health isn't where we want to be, and you want to have your burger and fries, then, but again, you can also kind of make your burger a little bit more healthier by whether you kind of skip the bun or skip half of the bun, and maybe have some fruit instead of your fries, so again, small changes. I like to help my clientele understand that small changes over a period of time add up to big results, and that you don't have to, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that. But it's these small changes. And again, we're looking at lifestyle, and we're looking at life habits. And it's like, I can eat, my burger with on half a bun and order and have a piece of fruit instead of fries. I mean, I could do that, right? So they kind of start thinking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were to get one thing across to golfers today, in whatever aspect you want, what would it be?
Really want to challenge them on why are they not including fitness in their golf preparation. I really, it's seriously the pros. I mean, you see it, all the pros, what men and women are now working out. you're seeing some of the biggest distances and all of that. And so why are they not jumping on the bandwagon? What is holding them back?
Yeah, you rarely see these professional golfers out with injuries. Rarely. It's because
100%.
they're on top of their fitness. And I see a lot of injuries with, amateur golfers because they don't think about fitness. They're just playing golf. They're like, oh, golf is just, it doesn't take that much. You don't need to really work out for it. And you see results of, your body starting to turn over time and your back starting to hurt. That's exactly what you're suggesting, is to actually challenge yourself to get into a rhythm, find a fitness class. Actually, if golf is your only thing you're doing in life, and you're not going to do some kind of golf fitness within the next 20 years, what's your body going to feel like in 20 years? I would think is a good question to have.
Well, and I do get, some people say, well, I just do it for fun. Well, again, we challenge just what you were saying. We challenge that because, well, if you want to do it for fun, that's great, but you want to stay injury free. Mm-hmm. And just by, whether it's taking a class, kind of getting with me, I see a lot of golfers on a private one-on-one basis because they have different things, a shoulder thing, a back thing, or, I'm also a post-rehab specialist. So anyone coming off of physical therapy because they had a knee replacement or something like that, there's a definite protocol on what we need to do next, right? And to be empowered with that information and know that you are doing things right. But if you're serious about wanting to stay injury-free, and you're serious about if you're wanting to improve your game, and you haven't include fitness, then, you can't expect different results if you keep doing the same thing.
Yep. I don't think those questions should ever have a no answer to them. If you play golf regularly, you want to stay healthy, you want to play golf for a long time. And I mean, fitness is always good, no matter what you're doing. So there's no reason really to say no to that. Last question. If you had to rank Jeff Bartholomew in the number of your clients, where do you rank him as golf fitness?
Wow. Yeah.
Never mind.
It's kind of a loaded question. I think Bryson, Kepka,
and then
Jeff. Yeah, maybe right there.
Wow, you're gonna make his head go like this. I'm just kidding. He's gonna hate us for this, but he wanted me to say, is it true that you've never seen a golfer in as good a shape as my father-in-law?
There you go. Well,
yeah. I don't know if he expected me to say that or not, but
yeah. Well, ask him about today, because he was
the first thing he says when we're about to go work out me and my wife work out at like 5:30 after work every day, or we try to. And he's like, I've already been in the gym twice today, 7 a.m. and 12 p.m. What are y'all doing? So this is good to get back at him. He always gives it to me. So
yeah. So you can tell him that. Yeah. And tell him I had no words. I had no words to really describe it. Yeah. So
we'll leave it at that. That. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for giving your insight on golf fitness and giving us some pointers on how we can keep our body healthy for a longer period of time. I think it's very, very important. You definitely opened my eyes, and I hope you've opened other people's eyes as well. We will definitely have your information posted out everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It'll be on YouTube and the podcast platforms Wednesday morning. And thank you so much for coming on. Any last words?
Well, no, thank you. I honestly, thank you so much for thinking of me. And I really am here to help people feel better and to help them keep moving and to help them do the sport that they love to do. And I wish you and Jeff all the best, because I think what you're doing is, it's not just, you guys are going over there to, to play golf, and that is, I mean, that is part of it, but it's also, it's an experience, right? And
Mhm.
it's just a fun experience that people can enjoy. And I think it's great what you're doing. So thank you.
Absolutely. And you'd hate to get over to Scotland and first day break your elbow or twist your back out. So be prepared.
There you go. Be prepared. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you so much. All righty. Take care.
Thank you. Please share, like, subscribe, and follow, and we'll see you next week.